Hello and welcome inside the USF softball complex here at Wilson DeMarini Stadium in Tampa, Florida for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan softball. I'm Jeremy Parks alongside Alex Drain. We'll reintroduce you in just a moment when we go live at 10 a.m. on 88.3 WCBN FM in Ann Arbor. The season opener for Team 41, Michigan softball, out warming up for the start of the first inning. Alex Drain at my side. Drain, ready for the new season?
I am very much ready.
Looks like Tara Blanco is warming up in the circle for Michigan in Game 1 here against the UAB Blazers. Michigan will have 5 games on the weekend here. We'll have 4 of them for you. Today and tomorrow's games, later on today against Georgia State, tomorrow against Florida and South Florida. We will not be covering the Illinois State game on Sunday morning. Got to fly back to Ann Arbor. However, we'll break right in with your lineups. For Michigan in the field, in the circle, it's Tara Blanco. Starting at first base, Aiden Falk. Over at second, Faith Canfield. Over at third, the much-awaited answer to who will start at third base, Alex Subject. Over in left field, Haley Hoganrod. Over in right, Tice Gonzalez. Anchoring in center, Natalie Peters. Madison Uden at short. Amanda Vargas is your DH. And Katie Alexander taking the lion's share of duties behind the plate. We are just about ready to get underway here with the first pitch of the new season for Michigan softball Team 41. Tara Blanco is set as she walks into the circle, stares down to Katie Alexander behind the plate. Leading off for UAB is the center fielder Destiny England. And with that, we are underway. The first pitch of the game is up high and out of the zone for ball 1. And we are live on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Jeremy Parks alongside Alex Drain here from the USF softball complex in Tampa, Florida. Pitch number 2, low and outside. Ball 2, count 2-0 on England.
Infield playing way in for Michigan, especially Subject over at third. She's creeping in along the line, perhaps looking for a potential bunt. Setting up outside is Alexander. Blanco readies. That one outside again as it squirts out of the glove at Alexander's left into the backstop. Ball 3. The count is 3-0 on England, who was a .279 hitter last season for the Blazers. And just 3 pitches into the game, there's going to be an infield meeting for the Wolverines as Katie Alexander will step out to talk to Tara Blanco. Just needs to settle down a little bit, focus on her pitches. Perhaps just some early season jitters. Again, last season was the first season where Tara Blanco really started that dual role, switching between first base and the circle, pairing up with Megan Betza. This year, pairing up with Megan Bobian. And the 4th pitch of the at-bat, it's a 4-pitch walk, low again to England, and UAB has their first at-bat of the game on base. That'll bring up the second baseman, Annalise Petrie, as the Blazers try and get something going here in the first inning in Tampa. Blanco readies. Shot over towards center field. That one could loop in, diving past the extended glove of the left fielder, Haley Hoganrod, and it falls for a loop base hit single into left. Just a bad luck there for Michigan. I mean, that was not a good hit in any way, just a little jam shot. But yep, knuckled it inside off the short part of the bat and got it over into left field, and now UAB has 2 on and none out, runners on first and second, as England was only able to get to second base. That'll bring up the right fielder, Madison Millsaps. First pitch to Millsaps. That's a called strike on the outside part of the plate. First called strike of the game for Tara Blanco. It is England on second, and then Petrie on first, as Blanco readies the 0-1. Showing bunt, and they do, as it bounces over towards Blanco. She fields and gets it down to first. Runners will advance on the play, but it's the first out of the inning for the Wolverines. It's an excellent sacrifice bunt right there. Just dropped it perfectly down the third base line. Blanco had to come over to field, pulled everyone out of position. The runners move up, and now the Blazers with an opportunity to knock in some early runs here in the top of the first. Batting cleanup for UAB is their pitcher, Claire Blount, the designated player today. First pitch. That one misses low for ball 1. Should I say not the designated player? That's actually going to be the 9th batter in the lineup, Emily Kakel. As Blount stands in with a 1-0 count, runners on second and third, trying to bring in the first run of the game. It's going to be a jam shot over towards second, handled well by Canfield, and throw out at first. Nobody can advance. 2 outs now in the inning. Good job by Tara Blanco and the Wolverines to get an important second out.
That's a huge out, because now it's all of a sudden 2 outs. You get the next one, you're out of the inning. No one advances on that play. Just too shallow of a ball. Canfield was able to step up, and she had the opportunity to go home and get the runner there if she had decided to run. So smart play by the Blazers to stay on the bases.
That brings up the third baseman, Megan Smith. The first pitch to Smith, a fastball low and outside for ball 1. 2 outs on the inning. Englund stands on third, Petrie on second for the Blazers. No score so far here in Tampa. The 1-0. That one got up and inside. A nice pitch from Blanco. Confused Megan Smith, and she took a hack at it. Went right over top. Count 1-1.
Michigan playing a little bit deeper at short and second, but the corners a tad in.
The 1-1 is fouled back into the netting behind the plate, and it'll bring the count to 1-2. Yep, second and short, both playing about 2 steps off the grass line here in the infield. Maddie Uden is the starting shortstop for Michigan. Faith Canfield over at second, just recorded the last out as Blanco with the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Third out of the inning. Michigan out of a jam early. UAB puts runners on second and third, but they do not score. We head to the bottom of the first in a scoreless game here from USF between Michigan and the UAB Blazers on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor.
Well, that's a big missed opportunity for the Blazers because they had the ability to come out first inning of the season and be able to take a potentially 2-0 lead. They had 2 on with nobody out. But nice pitching there from Blanco. Gets the big ground out that doesn't allow a runner to score, and then the big strikeout to end the frame. So not the best start of all time for Michigan, but it all looks the same when there's a 0 on the scoreboard, which there is. Players now into their dugout. We're getting ready for Michigan's time up at bat.
And we will give you the starting lineups for Michigan now. Had a bit of a delayed start, some technical difficulties as we got underway here in Tampa, but we should be good to go now. Your starting lineup for Michigan: batting first and playing second base, Faith Canfield. Batting second and right, Thais Gonzalez. Batting third, the pitcher today, Tara Blanco. Starting over at first base, Aiden Falk, batting cleanup. Over at third base, Alex Subject, batting fifth. Amanda Vargas batting sixth, the designated player today. Maddie Uden batting seventh at short. Batting eighth, Katie Alexander, the catcher. Batting ninth, Natalie Peters, the center fielder. Haley Hogenrod rounding it out in left. In the circle today for UAB, it will be Claire Blount. Blount last season had a 2.94 ERA, was 9-11 in the win-loss column. Saw the lion's share of innings pitched for UAB, had 162 innings last year. Struck out 126, definitely not a pitch-to-contact arm for the Blazers to start this one. Bodes well for Michigan, trying to put some balls in play early on.
But Blount is really the only returning workhorse pitcher for the Wolverines. And the Blazers really going to lean on her as this game rolls along. But an opportunity for Michigan to put some runs on the board, make a statement early.
Faith Canfield steps in now and awaits the first pitch of her season here on Team 41 as Blount readies and throws. That one is inside, but a called strike. Painted it well as Canfield leaned over the plate, 0-1.
Interesting defensive alignment here from the Blazers. They are shading the holes to the sides, but wide open space right up the middle.
The 0-1 pitch from Blount. That one misses outside and low for ball 1. Count evens at 1-all. Canfield last season for the Wolverines, a major piece, one of the big returning pieces for Michigan this year. She was second on the team in average at .398.
The only member of the team to make the preseason top 50 National Softball Player of the Year.
The 1-1 pitch was up a bit high. It was a check swing from Canfield, but still a called strike, as the home plate umpire Sally Keller thought it caught the top part of the zone. Counts 1-2. Blount winds and readies. A shot lined over towards second base, but grabbed nicely there by Petrie on a rope off the bat of Canfield. Good contact in her first at bat, just a bit unlucky, out number 1.
Well, it shows you that UAB did their scouting because they had that very interesting defensive alignment, but they played it perfectly. A little screamer right to the second baseman.
That's going to bring up perhaps the best athlete on this Michigan softball team this year, Tice Gonzalez, starting in right field today. The first pitch from Blount to Gonzalez, and she has that run-up slapper position at the plate is high for ball 1.
Gonzalez is a lefty hitter.
Limited action for Tice last year.
Mostly a pinch runner.
Just 13 at-bats overall. She hit .231 in those at-bats. As the 1-0 pitch misses inside for ball 2, the count's quickly 2-0 on the speedy Gonzalez. Slight winds here in Tampa at the USF softball complex. The American flag out in right field blowing a bit briskly, about 8 to 10 miles an hour here on a 75-degree morning in South Florida. The 2-0 pitch catches the outside part of the plate with the heater. Called strike, count 2-1, 64 on the gun there. Blount takes a minute to check her wristband on her right arm. Looks down to Garcia, winds and ready. Is a slap shot foul down the third base side, lands in the Michigan dugout, and evens the count at 2-2. Takes a quick hit of the rosin bag there, does Blount. Checks the wristband again, and a 2-2 count. Wolverines trying to get their first base runner of the game. Garcia sets up outside. The 2-2 up way high over the head of Gonzalez. She holds off, counts full, 3-2.
Pitch just kind of got away from her there, just floated a little bit.
And Gonzalez quickly steps back in, and she will await a payoff pitch. Winding and ready with the 3-2. That one misses outside, ball 4. Wolverines have their first base runner of the season. Tice Gonzalez trots down to first. And she will get a high five from Bonnie Thole in her normal perch over on the first base coach's box. Of course, Carol Hutchins over at third.
Well, Michigan now has one runner on an opportunity to try to get some runs here in the bottom of the first. And now they're going through the meat of the order.
That'll bring up Tara Blanco. First pitch, up and inside as Blanco twists away lightly from it, ball 1. Gonzalez took a small secondary lead over there at first. The 1-0 pitch. That one comes right over the heart of the plate. As Blanco waited for it, maybe getting up on her timing as the count evens at 1-1. 1 out here in the inning. Wolverines with a runner on first in a scoreless game in the bottom of the first inning. 1-1 pitch. That's a big looper up high. Perhaps they were trying to almost pitch out to Gonzalez there. And it'll go for ball 2. The count's 2-1.
Gonzalez seems intent on stealing, but at the same time when you have Blanco and Falk upcoming, you don't want to eliminate base runners when you have your big hitters at the plate.
It's going to be time called as Molly Garcia will run out to the circle and have a quick conversation with Claire Blount. Could not ask for a more beautiful day to call softball. To those of you listening around the country, thank you for tuning in, both online at WCBNsports.org, on YouTube, and in 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, where we heard it snowed a lot last night.
Yep.
Happy to be down here as we are
Got
set
it
to
to
get
town
back
right
again.
in time.
2-1, slapped down the third base line, just foul. Hard rip from Tara Blanco.
Gonzalez was going there.
Time that up just a little bit more. And that could score Gonzalez from first. Nonetheless, it's a 2-2 count on Tara Blanco. And again, we're going to have a circle visit. Molly Garcia intent on keeping things in check with her pitcher here.
Either she has something important to say or she's just trying to keep them on the same page. So it looks like Georgia State is arriving out in the wings. They'll be playing Michigan at 12:15.
Wolverines focused on the game in front of them. A 2-2 pitch. That one again looping up high, still trying to catch Gonzalez off. But she skirts back to first, and it's now a full count, 3-2. Checking over towards the dugout is Blount, perhaps looking for a call from her coaching staff over there. The payoff pitch, 3-2, swung on and missed. Down low, fading away from Blanco, and she went right over top of it. First strikeout of the game for Blount, second out of the inning. And the Blazers trying to get out of this with no damage done.
It's a tough swing and a miss there from Blanco, but not a bad at-bat. She was pretty disciplined the whole time and made Blount work for it. 1 on, 2 out.
And that will bring up Aiden Falk. First pitch to Falk. This is outside for ball 1. One of the senior leaders of Team 41, Aiden Falk, a major piece. Again, returning for the Wolverines, 347 average last season. Brought in 48 runs for Michigan, trying to bring in the first run of the season.
7 homers, one of the sources of power on the team.
The 1-0 pitch just missing inside. It was held there for an extra beat by Molly Garcia, but she could not draw the call.
Blount's been pretty consistent, hitting about 64, 65 miles an hour on the gun. These pitches.
As she readies her 2-0 offering. That one misses outside. They caught Gonzalez, and a fly over the head of the charging shortstop Irwin goes into center field. Gonzalez will be safe at second, will not advance on the poor throw from the catcher Garcia. She skied that throw down to second.
Yeah, not a good throw at all, but there really wasn't much of a chance to catch her either. She had a good jump there. Now an opportunity to score on potentially a single.
Very speedy on the base paths is Thais Gonzalez. It's a 3-0 count on Aiden Falk, pitching around her a little bit here. She takes one step back in the box on the 3-0 pitch. That one comes right over the heart of the plate. On a Carol Hutchins team, we mention it all the time here on WCBN softball broadcast, you do not swing.
Nope.
No matter how lobster of a pitch it looks, the bat stays on the shoulder. 3-1 pitch. Comes to, just catches the outside part of the plate. The Michigan fans don't like it. It maybe looked a hair outside from here, but it was held again for an extra second. Good framing by Garcia, and it brings the count from 3-0 to full.
It's a good job to hold off on that pitch by Falk. Not really a good chance to make any kind of good contact off it. Take your chance at a walk.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the inning. Payoff goes right up the middle, into center, rounding third and headed for home is Gonzalez. The throw will not be in time. She's safe, headed down to second is Falk. The throw gets away. Everybody's safe. Michigan with the first run of the season off the single right up the gut by the senior leader, Aiden Falk.
And that's the type of timely pitching and hitting that Michigan needs. They need to come up big in the big moments. And this was a good first sign here in this first inning of timely pitching from Blanco to escape the jam, and now a big timely hit from Aiden Falk to knock in the run. And a good heads-up play to realize the throw was coming home, goes down to second, and now Michigan, another single could potentially bring in a run. So
that's going to bring up Alex Subject. Starting at third base today, she's got Falk on second with a 1-run lead. The first pitch inside, called strike on the fastball. And as you said, things clicking early for Michigan. Timely pitching, timely hitting. They have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first, trying to extend the inning. Blount looks down and readies the 0-1. Swung on, grounded over towards second, handled by Petrie with the quick throw to first. And that'll end the inning, but not before Michigan scores the first run of Team 41's season off a single up the gut from Aiden Falk. It's a 1-0 game as we head to the top of the second. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and online with the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
not the best first inning of all time, a little bumpy in some places, but when you come out with a 1-0 lead, you will take that any day.
Any day of the week. Speaking of any day of the week, you have a lot of days of the week coming up here to donate to WCBN Sports. We have to mention it during the broadcast. It is our annual fundraiser. We only do one. If you're interested in hearing more Michigan softball coverage, we did the math yesterday. National and regional TV are only going to cover 4 games this season for the Wolverines, unless you have the Longhorn Network, in which it goes up to, I believe, 8 games. We're going to cover all but the tournaments next weekend in Tallahassee and Boca Raton, so we cover almost 50 of the Wolverines' 54 games this season. If you want to support and listen, you can find us on YouTube, as always, and certain games on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. But if you're interested in donating, dial the phone number in Ann Arbor, 734-763-3500. 734-763-3500. We don't mean to bog you down with fundraiser requests. That's not what we're here for. We're here for softball coverage, but we are contractually obligated, or as contractually obligated as we can be, to mention it.
We also do a good podcast, too.
Yep.
Dropped our first episode last week.
The podcast East of the Rockies, the Michigan Student Softball Podcast, back for Season 2. Drain has joined the crew, young freshman in the booth. Back with Morris and Kevin on call-ins. Lucas Vargas will be joining us in the future. We cover Michigan softball every single week, so keep an eye out early next week for a recap of this Tampa tournament.
And a preview of Tallahassee.
And a preview. Tara Blanco back into the circle here for the top of the second inning. Leading it off for the Blazers is Molly Garcia, the catcher. The first pitch misses off the plate for ball one. 67 on the gun from Blanco to open the inning. We also encourage you to interact with us on social media throughout the game at WCBN Sports. Let us know how we're doing. We always love interacting with fans if you have any questions as well. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed right over top of it, ghosted by Blanco as the floor fell out underneath it, 1-1. And now Katie Alexander will come out to the circle and talk to Tara Blanco. Just mentioning social media at WCBN Sports or on Facebook, the WCBN Sports page. If you have any questions, we know there's no video feed here at USF. I think there will only be video feed for the last game tomorrow against the hosting USF Bulls. But if you have any questions about things you can't see out here on the diamond, tweet them into us. The 1-1 pitch misses high for ball two. Holding off on that one was Garcia on the high cheese.
Command just a little off so far from Tara. Fell behind 3-0 and ended up walking that first batter of the game. Still pretty consistently been behind in the count.
The 2-1 pitch. Again, working in some of that rising action, but it just misses on the inside part of the plate as Molly Garcia takes a step back, and it'll be a 3-1 count. Blanco takes her time as she puts her foot back to the rubber. The 3-1. Thought about it for a half beat, did Garcia, did not go. Catches the outside part of the plate at the letters, 3-2.
It's a real good pitch. A little bit high, a little bit outside, but just enough to catch the outside corner. Really no chance to do anything with it.
Count is full. The payoff pitch swung on, skied over towards center field. Ranging over are the Wolverines. Peters coming over from center, but it's made by Gonzalez in right for the first out of the inning. Got underneath that one, did Garcia, as she heads back to the dugout. That'll bring up Sarah Crawford, the left fielder for the Blazers. As Blanco readies with her first offering of the at-bat. Pitch comes through right over the heart of the plate at the letters. A perfect pitch from Tara Blanco. 0-1 the count.
That was high velocity too, just a shade under 70 miles per hour. A little bit faster than some of her other pitches. Just blew it right by the batter.
The 0-1, another called strike. Crawford is a true freshman for UAB. Perhaps getting back down a little bit here by the veteran Blanco. 0-2 count.
Blanco just pounding her with some heat. Having trouble catching up and tracking those pitches as Crawford.
We'll see with a little room to work what she does on the 0-2. Brings the heat again to the outside part of the plate. Topping out at 67 again.
And that's a good pitch when you've thrown two right by him. You just put it a little bit outside, see if they'll chase. It can often be desperation when you fall behind 0-2.
The 1-2 pitch. Grounded over towards third, gathered in by Subject as she makes the cross diamond throw over to Falk, gathered for out number 2.
It's our first action for Subject since winning that third base job, or at least it so appears. Nothing is final, according to Coach Hutch, in pretty much all the interviews she's given, but for the moment, it looks like Subject will be the starter.
We will keep you appraised of all changes between the first game here and the second game of the afternoon against Georgia State. Expect to see a few flip-flops around for the Wolverines in this first couple of games. The first pitch to the first baseman, Rachel Rogers, is high at the eyes for ball 1. Wind has died down a little bit here. Stepping back for the 1-0. That one catches the inside part of the plate at the belt with the fastball going up to 69 that time, 1-1. 2 outs on the inning, no runners on the base paths for UAB. They threatened in the first inning. They got runners to second and third, but did not score. The 1-1. That one low and in the dirt, scooped up well by Alexander. 2-1.
Michigan would really like to get this out here. Do a quick 1-2-3 inning, escape to the next frame, bottom half.
Keep things moving along well here with the 2-1 pitch. That one also misses low for ball 3. It's 3-1. And as you said, Georgia State has arrived. They are over in left field now, watching from the left field fence.
Doing their scouting.
Yep, scouting up on the opponent for this afternoon. A 12-15 matchup with the Wolverines awaits them. 3-1 pitch. That one catches all of the plate, 3-2. The bat wasn't coming off her shoulder that time for Rachel Rogers.
Blanco has found herself in quite a few full counts. Quite a few in this game so far, too. Michigan was in a couple of them.
The payoff pitch. That one just missed.
Oof.
And again, the Wolverine fans, I was ready for the strikeout call, couldn't get it. It was held not for just an extra beat, but about 3 extra beats by Katie Alexander. She couldn't get the inside fastball to go. And it'll be a base runner with 2 outs for UAB as Rogers trots down to first.
Not a bad pitch. Totally froze Rogers. Just awaiting the call of the umpire.
It's going to bring up the shortstop, Natalie Irwin. First pitch to Irwin. That one right at the letters, called strike 1. Last season for the Blazers, Irwin batting just .217. Really no power whatsoever, no home runs, only 7 RBIs.
Well, this is not a good hitting team. They last season hit just .226 as a team.
The 0-1 pitch was swung on and missed on a breaking ball inside. Counts now 0-2 on Irwin. And perhaps a chance to end with a quick at-bat here for Tara Blanco. The 0-2 pitch just misses outside and high for ball 1. 1-2 the count.
Trying to get Irwin to bite there.
Rachel Rogers not necessarily a speedster over at first, best we can tell, as she has not seemed too eager to take a lead off of the bag.
She's being pretty cautious, but with
The
2
1-2
outs.
swung on and missed. And that'll end the inning for the Wolverines. It was down just above the ankles and caught Irwin inside. Another good pitch from Tara Blanco as the Wolverines finish out the top of the second with no damage. We'll head to the bottom of the second. It's a 1-0 game in favor of Michigan. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
Overall, that was a better inning from Blanco, but still, you want to see less walks. 2 walks now in 2 innings.
Really, the only decent contact that inning was the flyout from Molly Garcia that got into right center.
Not terribly deep, though.
No. As the Wolverines will look to add on to their tally here in the bottom of the second inning after scoring 1 in the first. Some interesting notes on the UAB Blazers. They are not only a young team overall, but they are also under the direction of a new head coach this season, Amanda Ellis. Former UAB Blazer herself from 01 to 03. She was an assistant for the last 3 years and has stepped into the leading role for the UAB program.
Her first ever game coming today.
As coming back out to the circle now will be Claire Blount. After a longer first inning than she probably would have liked, giving up just 1 run.
And she had an opportunity to get out of it, too.
She did, yes. Good hitting from Michigan, though, especially from Aiden Falk in 2-out situation, scoring Thais Gonzalez. Leading off the inning for Michigan will be Amanda Vargas, the designated player today. Michigan, by the way, we always mention the jersey colors. I forgot to do that at the start of the broadcast. Michigan in the all-navy jerseys and pants with the maize numerals, the maize block M atop the right chest area next to the numbers.
Blazers going with the all green for the most part with the
gold sleeves.
Kind of a faded gold.
Yeah. As Amanda Vargas will step to the plate to start the bottom of the second inning. Vargas last season saw decent time, had 67 at-bats, batted .269 throughout the season. As Blount offers the first pitch of the inning, that's inside for a called strike in near the elbows on Vargas. Brought in 14 runs for Michigan last season, going to see an increased role in the lineup this season. As Blount offers the 0-1 outside. Vargas thought about it for a second but pulled back.
Started to bend the elbows a little bit.
Just a hair. Trying to hold it there was Garcia. No call on the outside edge. 1-1 the count. Blount rolling that ball in her fingers as she puts it to the glove and gives the 1-1. That one's low and in the dirt. Gathered up by Garcia. Between the legs, 2-1 the count. Wind picking back up now here. We're in a bit of a wind tunnel up from our vantage point here, just behind home plate, a hair over to the third base line. Beautiful facilities here at the USF softball complex. 2-1, that's a called strike inside again. These Michigan hitters crowding the plate a little bit early, and UAB taking advantage inside.
Trying to sell it as a tad inside, but not getting the calls.
2-2 the count now on Amanda Vargas, affectionately known as Panda on the team. The 2-2, line shot down the third base line as Hutch falls to her back in the coach's box. She'll get a little laugh as she narrowly avoids that one to a large round of applause from the Michigan faithful here. Not normally much for bravado and character. That's about as off color as you'll get from Hutch during a game, but right onto the back. She's back up.
She's excited for softball season and into it.
Oh boy. Another 2-2 pitch to Vargas. That one misses high and outside, counts full 3-2. And we did media day last weekend with Carol Hutchins. That was the most animated that I've really gotten to interview her at any point. So, like you said, excited for softball season, excited to see what Team 41 has to offer for softball's winningest coach. The payoff pitch. That one misses outside, and Vargas was halfway out the batter's box before it even hit the mitt.
That's a good hard walk there.
Lead off runner on. And that'll bring up Madison Uden, the shortstop. As Hutch is going to have a pinch runner come in. I believe that's going to be Nikki Wald coming out of the dugout. Indeed it is, as she trots over to first base to replace Amanda Vargas.
It's an interesting shuffle of the lineup, trying to mix everybody in, because these two games today really need to be used as, you know, an opportunity to try to test out the whole lineup before tomorrow's big matchup with Florida. Get everyone involved, get everyone warmed up.
Nikki Wald was 5 for 5 on stolen bases last season as a pinch runner. The first pitch, though, to Uden is up high for ball 1.
Michigan lost the whole left side of their infield, so position battles at both third and short. Subject looks like the starter at third, and Uden looks like the starter at short.
A bad bunt on the 1-0 pitch, stays up in the air and rolls, and now we're going to have it called off, and it's an out anyways. Really an awkward play there for the shortstop, Maddie Uden. She got underneath it on the bunt, spun it up as the catcher Garcia was able to come right back to her left shoulder and make the grab.
I guess the idea is to try to move
Wald to second, yep.
Not sure I like that, though. Second inning, a little too early.
Little small ball, but doesn't work out for Michigan on a poor bunt. That'll bring up Katie Alexander with 1 out and Wald on first. The first pitch called strike, about waist high over the outside part of the plate. Counts 0-1.
A local kid, Alexander, Saline High School.
The 0-1 pitch. That one fouled back over towards the first base side. Trying to range over for another foul out was Garcia, but it will elude her and fall harmlessly to the dirt. Claire Blount trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run after giving up the only run of the game so far to the Wolverines in the bottom of the first. An 0-2 pitch. That one swung on, shot over towards short. Can't be handled by England. It's going to be a base hit into left for Katie Alexander as Wald will advance to second. Not sure if it actually bounced off the glove of England or if it
Didn't look like it.
If it just got by it.
Frozen rope to the left side, just past the shortstop. Now there's ducks on the pond.
Yeah, put runners on first and second. Wolverines looking for some more ribs. Down in Tampa here, Drain and I eat at Chili's every night, except last night we took in a Tampa Bay Lightning game down at the AM EST Arena. As Blount's going to take a second here to step off the rubber and think about what she's going to do here. First pitch, called strike on the outside part of the plate. Blount still looking back to the dugout for her next move. As the 0-1 pitch comes in, that's a shot over towards center field, flied out and caught off the bag was Wald. Poor base running by the Wolverines. It was a rope shot over to center, gathered in by England, and just tossed over to second base.
Wald did not read that correctly at all.
I think she thought it was going to drop in for a single, but it definitely held up longer than she thought, and she was caught 3 steps away from third base. Bonnie Thole not happy over at first, looking back with some disdain for that play. And
Wald to get a talking to from Hutch too, over there in the third base coach's box.
That will end the inning. No runs as we head to the top of the third. It's a 1-0 game in favor of Michigan. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network. JP, Drain, live from Florida. As I said, we got to take in a Lightning game last night. That was pretty cool.
It was fun. Nice stadium.
Some tickets courtesy of a friend from high school. Shout outs to Chase Madden if you're down here. Some nice blue line tickets last night at the AM EST Arena. A 5-2 win for the Lightning over the Canucks. They've got Tesla coils in their arena. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It makes like real lightning bolts. It's pretty cool. As Michigan will go back to work here in the top of the third. Drain, your thoughts so far on the game?
Well, as a whole, not too shabby of a start for Michigan. 1-0 lead is not what you want to hold for the entire game. Like to get some runs here, but they've had base runners in each of these first 2 innings, so it's pretty poor base running there in the last frame, but if you just keep at it, you're going to get some runs eventually.
One thing we have not mentioned yet, if you are listening on the YouTube channel feed, feel free to subscribe to our channel. You'll get not only all the Michigan softball calls as they happen, you'll get all the other Michigan sports calls that we have as well. Still wrapping up both basketball seasons. We've got water polo, we've got men's and women's lacrosse coming up still. We've got baseball coming up. All kinds of maize and blue coverage here on WCBN Sports. As Tara Blanco meets with her infield, breaks huddle, and we head back to game action here in the top of the third.
It'll be the top of the order for the Blazers.
Top of the order indeed as Destiny England steps in. She walked in her first at bat.
Got all the way to third, but unable to be brought in.
First pitch misses high, ball 1. We would give you the pitch count. We don't have a stat broadcast going here in Tampa today. The 1-0 swung on over towards second, handled by Canfield and tossed over to Aiden Falk for the first out of the inning.
Those are the quick outs you like to get. Just two pitches, little harmless ground ball to second, underhand flip, easy out.
Easy out indeed. And that'll bring up Annalise Petrie with 1 out and none on here. Tara Blanco trying to move fast as she steps to the rubber. Offers the first pitch. That one just missing outside, perhaps a bit high, ball 1.
Very Michigan heavy crowd here.
Until Florida gets here, yep. When the Gators come tomorrow, it'll be a packed house.
Softball fans travel well.
The 1-0 swung on over towards third, gathered by Subject.
Gonna call it foul.
Gathered in foul, just over the line. It was a good throw anyways, over from third base, across the diamond.
The Subject played it well. It was right there, easy glove, and would have been an easy out, but called off.
Hard to replace the defensive prowess that Lindsay Montemurano had over at third base for the last several seasons, but Subject doing well so far. The 1-1, big cut and a big miss. Way out in front of that one.
was Petrie.
Swinging for the fences. That was 59 miles an hour. Almost every pitch from Blanco's been in the mid-60s.
That was swinging for the moon, if I don't say so.
Yeah.
1-2 count.
Nice off-speed change. Fool him a little bit.
Blanco winds and readies. A shot over towards short, gathered in by Uden off one hop over to first in time for the second out of the inning.
That's her first action as the new shortstop.
Played well on the hard shot. 2 outs now in the inning as that'll bring up Madison Millsaps. Blanco looks over towards her wristband on her left arm as she winds and readies. Shot right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Millsaps. It's going to squirt all the way into center field where it's gathered up by Natalie Peters and thrown back in. One pitch, one hot shot back up the gut. Very similar to Aiden Falk's RBI single back in the first inning for the Wolverines.
Just got under the glove.
And that's going to bring out
second baseman Canfield.
It's going to bring out Jennifer Brundage, the arms coach here for the Wolverines. Going to have a talk with Tara Blanco along with Katie Alexander.
Well, she was doing all right really prior to that. She had recorded outs in the last 7 of the last 8 batters until that single, but some hard contact. They're just going to try to straighten things out, make sure everyone's on the same page, and try to quell the Blazers, get out of the inning.
Still talking with her pitcher here is Jennifer Brundage. Little black-eyed peas on the intermission.
We've heard a lot here. Pre-game warm-ups. We heard some Journey.
Some Backstreet Boys earlier.
Yeah.
Not only is Backstreet back, Michigan softball's back. First pitch to the pitcher, Claire Blount, misses outside for ball 1. We got to warm up to the pun game. It's a trope of WCBN sports broadcasts, as always, with Morris Fabry. Drain, I don't want you to be Morris, but be Morris. The 1-0 pitch. That one a called strike over the heart of the plate. Count 1-1 with 2 outs.
Wind starting to pick back up again.
Yeah, that American flag over in right blowing pretty steadily.
Not a good thing for our loose papers here on the desk.
A brisk breeze here in South Florida. The 1-1. Shot over towards second. It's going to get under the glove of Canfield and into right. And it will be tossed in. Another base hit for the Blazers off the bat of the pitcher, Claire Blount, trying to help her own cause here. As UAB now has runners on first and second in a 2-out situation.
That might have been a play Canfield could have had.
It just got under a glove, tried to stab it maybe a little bit too hard as get in front of it. And now a small jam here for Tara Blanco trying to get out of the inning as Megan Smith steps to the plate. First pitch to Smith in the dirt, gathered up by Alexander, advancing over to third just in time. What a close play over at third base. Madison Millsap sliding in. The pitch was low and in the dirt, bounced up into the chest protector of Alexander, skirted over to her left, and she almost made the throw over to third in time to get the tag, but now the runners advance to second and third for UAB, and the jam becomes a little bit tighter. And it's going to bring up an infield meeting in the circle for Michigan, trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third inning against the University of Alabama Birmingham Blazers.
There really hadn't been a whole lot of hard contact off of Blanco until these last couple hits. He's starting to track her a little bit better.
Blanco's going to settle back in now. Take some time to step to the rubber, check her wristband. Home plate umpire Sally Keller is back and ready to go. The 1-0 pitch. That one just misses low. A good offer from Tara Blanco, but could not draw a bite from Megan Smith. Molly Garcia, the catcher, with her shin protectors on in the on-deck circle. The 2-0 pitch. That one misses high as well. And the control issues continue here in the inning for Tara Blanco. Needs to settle down, take a deep breath, and get zoned in.
Well, we'll see if the Blazers are swinging here on 3-0.
3-0 pitch. They do not, and the pitch misses anyways. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Megan Smith. Bases are now juiced, as they say.
She's just a little off right now. I mean, a 3-0 count, you need to deliver that over the plate.
Putting it in relatively close spots to where she wants, just not quite the pinpoint accuracy that you would like to see early on. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Molly Garcia, to the plate. Chock full of runners with 2 outs. First pitch misses low, had to be gathered in off the dirt to the left shin pad of Alexander.
And really, prior to these last couple hits, Garcia had probably the best contact of the game with her fly out to right field.
Hutchism here would be stay in the process. Got to keep going. And that's going to be a right over. Nice grab made at third base. Wonderful play by Alex Subject. It was going to go foul, but gathered in right at the bag. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. It was a hard shot off the bat of Garcia. And again, she hits it hard, but is just a hair unlucky. And that'll end the inning. UAB loads the bases, but they don't score. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Michigan leads this one 1-0 on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
Well, we were talking about the defense that they were losing in 3rd with the graduation of Lindsay Montemarano, but so far, so good for Alex Subject. That's a huge out, escape the inning, preserve the lead, and now you need to get out there and really get to work, try to bust this game open.
I've decided we're going to do this bi-inningly, so just a quick reminder as well, we are in the midst of our parent stations fundraiser with WCBN 88.3 FM in Ann Arbor. If you're a Michigan alumni or just a fan of the school and you want to hear all the calls that we have for Michigan softball as well as all the other spring maize and blue sports coming up, feel free to donate to the station. Call in at 734-763-3500. Tell them JP and Drain sent you, and here's what we're going to do. Same thing we did last year. We're auctioning off for base hits and runs. So if you'd like to sponsor a base hit or a run in the game or on the weekend, just tweet at us at WCBN Sports that you dropped us a donation, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out during the broadcasts here in Tampa. Michigan going to go back to work here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Looking to do a little damage. As Faith Canfield stands over to the left side here, waiting for Claire Blount to warm up. Again, a big thank you to all of you tuning in with us on WCBN Sports for all the coverage here in Tampa. You can also drop live chat comments on the YouTube feed. If you're looking for the YouTube feed, how to share that out with people that are looking to listen. It was tweeted out by the Michigan softball account on Twitter, I know, in their mentions as well, or find it on our Twitter account at WCBN Sports.
We'll be back to the top of the order for Michigan, starting with their best hitter, Canfield. The key to a big inning, always get the first runner on, put pressure on the defense and both on the pitcher.
As Claire Blount steps back to the circle, has her foot on the rubber to throw to Canfield. The first pitch bounces up in front of the plate in the dirt for ball 1.
At least a foot out in front of the plate. Not the best delivery there.
Canfield takes her time, steps out, regathers that bat up over the shoulder, barrels up, and waits for Blount. Hard shot on the 1-0 pitch. Lands just inside the Michigan dugout.
Looked like it took out a barrel down there on the side, knocked it over.
Oh, and then came back into play as it'll be collected. It's now a 1-1 count.
Just a little bit out in front of that was Canfield. She had timed it a little bit better. That would have been big.
1-1 pitch from Claire Blount. That one swung on. That's between first and second. It'll get into right field. A throw is attempted from right field by Millsaps into first, but it's not in time. Canfield's on base with a leadoff single.
Well, I said if she got the timing better, there would be something big, and that was a good hard-hit ball, just a screamer right between the hole first and second, right into right field, and there's the leadoff runner. Now, to see how much it can affect Blount, just having to account for a runner on base.
Michigan trying to add on to their 1-run lead as stepping into the box is Thais Gonzalez. First pitch called strike on the outside part of the plate. The run-up slapper holding off on that one.
Canfield was 10 for 12 last year on stolen bases, so she has the ability to run if she wants to.
0-1 pitch to Gonzalez. Trying to go to the outside part of the plate again and missing this time is Blount. The count evens at 1-1. Canfield standing on first, getting her instructions from Bonnie Thole.
She looked to have a little bit of a run off the base. That last pitch.
The 1-1 showed a healthy lead there on a ball that just missed as well. 2-1 the count. Canfield just trying to time it up maybe over at first, waiting for her opportunity to make a move. As Blount twirls the ball between the fingers, puts it to the glove, and the 2-1 pitch misses outside again. That one the furthest outside yet she's gotten. Count goes to 3-1.
Molly Garcia was 16 for 57 in catching runners, so 78% were able to steal a base with Garcia behind the plate.
Well, for throw down to second back in the first was any indication, skied it.
About 5 feet too high.
The 3-1, that's a called strike. Quick throw back to first, trying to catch Canfield off guard. Doesn't work, but the count's now full 3-2 on Thais Gonzalez, the right fielder. Quick time is called for by home plate umpire Sally Keller.
Gonzalez drew a walk back in the first, was able to steal a base, trying to get another walk here.
The 3-2, that one a chop foul that's going to get back behind home plate to the first base side. Just a bit on top of that one. Put a lot of top spin on it.
The thing I do like, Michigan really having good at-bats, grinding out, taking the walks if they can get them, making Blount work for it.
The count is still full at 3-2. Again, setting and readying is Blount with the payoff pitch. Just missing off the outside part of the plate. A good pitch from Blount, but she couldn't draw the corner. I don't know, it looked pretty close from here. Home plate umpire Sally Keller calls ball 4.
That's tough to tell from our angle.
And now the Wolverines have runners on first and second. You are right, we are kind of over top and to the left of home plate, so.
That's a gutty take, though.
It is, yeah, indeed. But Gonzalez now on the base pads with speed. Canfield on the base pads with speed. And the big bopper, Tara Blanco, steps to the plate.
She can find a gap. We could get 2 more runs in here.
Huge hole right up the middle between Petrie and Irwin.
They've been doing that quite a bit.
First pitch, called strike, catches the outside corner. Took a lot off of that one, just 50 on the gun on the off speed there from Claire Blount.
Both runners looking for contact to take off.
The 0-1, that one's inside. Goes back behind Tara Blanco, 1-1. She steps back to the plate, taps the bat to home. Barrels up on the shoulder. The 1-1 pitch. That one swung on over towards center field. Can it hang up? It cannot. Caught just in time by the center fielder, Destiny England. Almost a single there for Tara Blanco. It was well hit. But this time, Faith Canfield, better base running than Nikki Wald. She does not get caught off at second base. They tried to throw back to her, overthrown, and got back to the third baseline, but no damage done for UAB.
Solid contact, just a little too much under it. Hung up there a bit too long.
Bring up Aiden Falk.
She had the biggest hit of the game so far.
With 1 out in the inning, she went right back up the middle for the RBI single back in the bottom of the first. First pitch, misses outside, ball 1. Gotta love the cheers from the dugout. It's a sign that softball's back in the air. Michigan dugout cheering on their captain, Aiden Falk.
Not sleepy at all. Ready to go.
The 1-0. Swung on, shot into right field. That's going to be another hit. It bounces up off the glove of Millsaps. Coming around third and scoring is Canfield. Coming around third and scoring is Gonzalez. Scooting into third and staying is Falk. Down in Florida, they call it caliente. It's hot. The bat from Aiden Falk scores 2. It's 3-0 Michigan.
Well, that's a real good hit there from Falk. Now using all different parts of the field. She had the single up the middle in the first. Now a hit to the right side in the third. The spray chart looking pretty varied so far. We'll see how they officially score that. I'm thinking probably single scores the first run and then the
probably
error
an error
scores
for the second. Yep, bouncing up off the glove of Millsaps. Canfield has the speed to probably justify ruling it an RBI on the first run, but she will not get 2 RBIs most likely. Again, we don't have a stat broadcast, but we'll let you know as soon as we find out how it is officially scored. But now Falk stands on third, and stepping to the plate is Alex Subject. The first pitch, up and inside. Standing up just a little bit straighter to avoid that pitch was Subject for ball 1. Michigan in business, 2 runs here in the bottom of the third, still 1 out. Runner on third in the form of Aiden Falk. She just brought in 2. The 1-0. That one, a good pitch, just below the waist, over the plate, called strike, 1-1.
Subject grounded out to second last time up. The infield playing in a little bit, trying to prevent that run from scoring with 1 out, but it leaves holes in the infield, right back up the middle. Nobody.
The 1-1 pitch misses high and outside for ball 2.
And the outfield playing it a bit shallow in center.
Falk still standing over there on third with Carol Hutchins to her right in the coach's box. The 2-1 pitch. That one's low, just hovering above the dirt. Ball 3, 3-1. And it looks like Claire Blount is a little bit shook now.
Really starting to struggle with her command here in this inning. Already 2 walks and now 3-1.
Trying to take her time as she steps back to the rubber and waiting for the 3-1 pitch. That one catches the inside part of the plate. Subject looked like she was about to trot over towards first base and drop the bat, but a called strike from the home plate umpire, Sally Keller.
She was ready to take the free trip down to first.
Full count now on the third baseman, Subject. Payoff pitch, swung on, tap foul. Bounces right up off home plate.
Got just a piece of it.
Still 3-2.
The underside of the bat just smacks it right down into the dirt.
Georgia State starting to warm up over in left field over in the batting facilities. Again, the Wolverines play them at 12:15. We'll have that call for you as well on WCBNsports.org and YouTube. The 3-2. That one's inside, and that will be ball 4. As Subject gets the free bag, heads down to first, now ducks on the corners of the pond.
It's 3 walks now in the inning for Claire Blount. She's really gotten into this trouble herself.
And that is going to bring up Amanda Vargas. Amanda Panda Vargas trying to add on here to the Wolverines' 3-run lead in the bottom of the third. They've tallied 2 off of the single into right and an error as well from the bat of Aiden Falk, who stands at third. Blount readies the first pitch to Vargas. She shows bunt, takes the called strike, but allows Subject to get down to second on the movement.
So now the single probably busts the game open a little bit, would get you up to a 5-run lead with runners on second and third.
0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch is low and inside. Plucked again out of the dirt by the catcher, Molly Garcia. And the count is 1-1. The 1-1. That one bounces in the dirt as well. Really cannot keep the ball up in this at bat. Can Blount, and it's 2-1.
She's been mostly doing fastballs, but she took a little off that, dropped all the way down 47 miles an hour, but just left it in the dirt. Not a whole lot of direction, these pitches.
A 2-1 pitch. That one's a good called strike inside, and that's been the best pitch for Claire Blount today, just catching the inside part of the plate on the Wolverines with some heat. The 2-2.
a hitter.
Catches Vargas on the legs as she takes contact and will head down to first, and now the bases are full. Loaded up for Michigan.
Looked like it got her right around the knee, and now she's jogging past first base to try to walk it off with instructions.
It's going to bring up Maddie Uden to the plate. First pitch of the at-bat. Swung on, foul back into the netting behind home plate. 0-1.
All three runners ready to go on contact. Infield still pulled in to try to prevent that run with only one out. And of course a force now at home, so you have to imagine, unless it was a tailor-made double play ball, the throw comes home if it's on the ground and in the infield.
The 0-1. That one is also going to plunk Uden, and that's going to bring a run around for the Wolverines on the hit by pitch as Falk will step to home plate for the fourth run of the game for Michigan. 2 hit batters in a row. Vargas now on second and Uden down at first.
Yeah, this inning's just really gotten away from Blount. 3 walks early on and now back-to-back hit batters on top of the single from Falk. And Falk did just score a run there.
And that will bring a circle meeting here for UAB as Claire Blount is going to go over some things with the coaching staff and the catcher, Molly Garcia. Again, you're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. If you're looking to donate to the WCBN fundraiser, feel free to call in at 734-763-3500, 734-763-3500. Folks in the studio back in Ann Arbor waiting to take your money to support college radio. Four to nothing in favor of Michigan as they still have the bases juiced with 1 out in the inning.
Well, this is the opportunity now for Michigan with the bases loaded once again, 1 out, to really, start getting into run rule territory. They can put one in the gap.
Katie Alexander steps to the plate. First pitch called strike inside, 0-1.
Alexander had a single last time up. That was in last inning, actually. Michigan batting around now. The 8th hitter to come to the plate in this inning for Michigan alone. Still only 1 out.
The 0-1. That one looping in low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing, did she go? The appeal down to first base. Peter Blair rings that one up. It's going to be 1-2. First appeal of the game that we've seen today. Looked like Garcia wanted to go to third. Home plate umpire Sally Keller deferred to first. And the count's now 1-2. That one's up high. 2-2 the count now. Still here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Wolverines up 4-0 on the Blazers. 3 runs now so far in the frame. 1 out. The 2-2 pitch to Alexander. That one's fouled back behind home plate.
Just got a piece.
Just a little bit.
Michigan continues to battle in these at-bats. And obviously a lot of confidence in Blount's inability to really locate well.
2-2 pitch. That one loops up high, called strike 3. A really good pitch from Blount. 47 on the gun. Threw Alexander for the loop and caught the top edge of the strike zone. It's now 2 outs. Bases are still loaded for Michigan. And that'll bring up Natalie Peters.
Tough luck take there from Alexander, but an excellent pitch.
And it will not actually bring up Natalie Peters. We're going to see a pinch hit situation, it looks like, for the Wolverines as Carol Hutchins heads over to home plate umpire Sally Keller and will call in some reinforcements. We'll see who she brings.
Try to take a look at what number that
out
is.
of the box. We haven't seen quite yet.
It's like single digit.
Trying to tell just by build. I think it's Abby Sparse, and it is.
It is, yep.
Sophomore out of Clarkston, Michigan. Sparse had 2 at-bats last season. She was batting 1,000. So she will get her 3rd at-bat in 2 years. First pitch to Sparse is a called strike that catches the outside part of the plate, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Loops inside, just missing though inside. It looked like a good pitch from here, but it's a ball as the count evens up 1-1.
Must have just been off the plate ever so slightly.
Sparse, a lefty hitter. That one came in on her inside part of the plate. Bases loaded with 2 outs here, 1-1 the count. Blount delivers. That one just misses outside. Held for an extra beat by Garcia, can't get the call, 2-1.
UAB continues to cede a lot of ground right up the middle, shading to the pull sides. First base playing in especially.
The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back into the netting behind home plate, 2-2 the count.
Once again, good at-bats from Michigan, getting contact on foul balls, taking their pitches.
The 2-2 pitch. That one comes inside, twisting out of the way is Sparse, and just out of harm's way by a hair.
It's a weird looking pitch.
It is, yeah.
Fluttered around.
Drove her out, came back inside, but it missed for a ball. Counts full 3-2. 3-2 on Abby Sparse. Payoff pitch from Blount. That one swung on over towards right field. It's gonna drop, base hit. Coming towards home and scoring is Subject. Holding up at third is Vargas. An RBI single for the pinch hitter, Abby Sparse, as Michigan advances their lead to 5-0. Very nice piece of hitting, drove the count all the way to full. And now she will be pinch run for by Natalie Peters.
So now 4 runs in the inning for the Wolverines. They lead 5-0, goes back to the top of the order.
And that's going to bring up another circle visit. We may even see a pitching change now here for UAB. We'll keep an eye on it. Again, a reminder to donate to the WCBN annual fundraiser, 88.3 WCBN FM in Ann Arbor. If you want to dial in, 734-763-3500, 734-763-3500 to the phones down there. Keep college radio a-moving. And they are going to indeed have a pitching change now. That will be the end of the day for Claire Blount. We'll see who comes in to take her place as she heads back to the dugout. And then we'll see what kind of scouting report we can pull up for you here with the limited materials that we got.
So she faces the order 2 times through. 18 hitters, gives up at least 5 runs. But she is responsible, of course, for all 3 ducks on the pond.
Looks like it's going to be Emily Kakel, who is a true freshman from Kennesaw, Georgia. A true freshman out of Harrison High School. We'll see how she holds up here against a hot Michigan lineup early on in the first game of the season for Team 41. She'll have a moment to warm up. Again, feel free to interact with us throughout the broadcast on Twitter at WCBN Sports, on the WCBN Sports Facebook page. And continued reminder to keep calling in to 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor with your donation pledges for the annual fundraiser of the station, day number 1 of the fundraiser. The phone line 734-763-3500 to get into the folks down in the basement of the Student Activities Building, so we can continue to bring you wonderful sports broadcasting content. As the Wolverines are back to business now with Faith Canfield as they bat all the way around officially here in the bottom of the 3rd. The first pitch to Canfield is up high. It's going to possibly bring in a run at home. In time, not in time on the catch. I thought maybe they might have gotten Amanda Vargas, but they don't. The pass ball scores another run for Michigan. The very first pitch from the arm of the replacement pitcher for UAB. Not fantastic.
Well, she was Johnny on the spot there, was Vargas, getting ready. Take off right the moment that pitch was too high.
Emily Kakel steps back in now. Another pitch high for ball number 1 to Canfield, or ball number 2, I should say, to Canfield. So that the 5th run of the bottom of the 3rd. Michigan now leads 6-0 over the UAB Blazers. And now Peters on 2nd and Uden on 3rd. Nobody on 1st. The 2-0, again a pass ball gets up high. Coming towards home is Uden, and she is out. That is in time. That's a nice play by Garcia on another pass ball. And that will finally end the inning. But still, all 3 pitches off the arm of UAB and their replacement pitcher, not very good for Emily Kakel.
So, all in all, Michigan sends 10 hitters to the plate, though Canfield never gets a shot to put a ball in play. They score 5 runs, though.
Goodness gracious. A very long bottom of the 3rd inning, which means Tara Blanco's had a lot of time to sit and think about how she wants to attack this top of the 4th. And again, you're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Online on YouTube, WCBNsports.org, and the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network. As Blanco goes back to work. Continued reminder again, if you do donate into the station fundraiser, you'll be able to have a base hit or a run, whatever you'd like, home run if you care for it, named after you throughout the broadcast this season. We'll yell your name out after the given action, if that's any incentive to you to drop even a $5 or a $10 donation into WCBN, 734-763-3500.
It's like, you ever been in the Michigan Theater?
Yeah.
And how they have the seats that are sponsored by people?
Yep. We're not going to give you a seat, but you'll have an eternally available broadcast with your name in it.
Yep.
So if you think about it, you could have had Abby Sparse with just her 3rd at bat in the last 2 seasons, with some big RBIs for Michigan in the last frame. So it's 6-0 Wolverines. Got to see where we left off after the last inning for the Blazers. Stepping in to start the inning will be Sarah Crawford.
Got some interesting opposition research here on Emily Kakel. Major in engineering, and according to her Twitter, as of November 2017, she had a Snapchat streak of 500 days with her boyfriend.
There you go. First pitch to Crawford is a called strike, 0-1. Blanco steps back to the rubber again with the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a big miss from Crawford. The 0-2. That one grounded over towards second, gathered in by Canfield. Toss over to Falk real quick. Out here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 down.
Well, that's the way you draw it up. 3-pitch at bat, easy out.
And that will bring up Rachel Rogers to the plate. First pitch is low, gathered in by Alexander, 1-0 the count. Blanco taking her time now. A little bit slower than earlier on in the game. The 1-0 pitch is grounded over towards Subject at third. The cross diamond throw to Falk in time for out number 2. 2 quick at bats for the Blazers.
Another excellent defensive play there. Not the hardest hit ball of all time, but positioning was perfect there for Subject. Just leans over, backhand scoop, get it in the arm, and she takes her time, makes sure to make a great throw, easy out, and quickly 2 down.
And that will bring up Natalie Irwin, the shortstop. First pitch to Irwin is up high for ball 1. 2 down in the inning, no runners on the bags for the Blazers. Top of the 4th, it's 6-0 Wolverines in the first game of the season for Team 41. Blanco sets back to the rubber and again delivers. That one just a bit high again. Holding it there for just a second or two after she got it into the glove was Alexander. Couldn't get the call from Sarah Keller behind home plate. Sally Keller, I should say, behind home plate. 2-0. And now Blanco's going to take a minute here as she steps off the bag, and we'll have a conversation with Alexander. The 2-0 the count. 2-0 up high again. After 2 quick at-bats, now Blanco behind in this one. 3-0 the count to Natalie Irwin.
She's mostly straightened out her pitching since that first inning, but she does have these moments where she falls back in this habit and gets behind the hitter.
The 3-0. That one's right over the heart of the plate. Called strike 3-1. Georgia State still mulling around over in left field, warming up for the next game. As the 3-1 pitch comes around, that's knuckled over towards third, gathered up by Subject. Can she make the throw in time? She can. A lot of speed down that first base path for Natalie Irwin, but a great play by Alex Subject over at the hot corner.
Another fine play there, continuing to really hold her own defensively. No signs of weakness.
She records the 3rd out of the inning, a quick top of the 4th as the Blazers go down 1-2-3.
Ground out to second, 2 ground outs to third.
Yep, still 6-0 Michigan as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Thanks so much for tuning in. Still haven't gotten any donations yet. Still waiting for somebody to sponsor a base hit or a run. You can also get WCBN mini bats, actually. I completely forgot to mention that. We have mini bats as a donation incentive for fundraising, individual donations of $20 or more. You can get our logo on a mini bat to carry with you every time you listen to Michigan softball, or if you come to Alumni Field later this season and you don't like the broadcast, maybe you could use the mini bat on us. But again, the number to call back in Ann Arbor, 734-763-3500, 734-763-3500. As Kakel will come back out to the circle here in the bottom of the 4th inning. She only threw 3 pitches. She somehow got out of the last inning, gave up 1 run on a pass ball, almost gave up a second on another pass ball, but it was just in time at the plate to record the last out of that very, very long bottom of the 3rd inning in which the Wolverines batted all the way around and scored 5 runs.
Nice and full warm-ups there for UAB, getting ready as Canfield will strut into the batter's box. She led off last inning too, and they went all the way around.
Yep, Canfield will get a fresh count after both those pass balls were during her at bat, including the one that ended it. So she will see the offerings of Emily Kakel again.
You gotta think it's a bit of an advantage for Canfield to see a couple pitches.
First pitch is a hard shot over towards center field. Ranging under it is Destiny England, and she will gather it in mid-center field for the first out of the inning. Sky ball from Canfield on the first pitch.
High pop-up. A little bit underneath it. And a rainbow for an out.
Temperature getting up to around 80 degrees as the afternoon bears on here in Tampa.
We got proper shade, though.
We do indeed, with a little breeze. Stepping to the plate, Thais Gonzalez. First pitch called strike on the outside edge, 0-1. A far cry from the home weather of Ann Arbor. Some 6 odd inches of snow last night from all reports that we have heard. A couple of snow days around the area. 0-1. That's a ball up high. Count evens at 1-1. Happy not to be in class yesterday. Went to the beach when we landed.
First we went to Sonic.
We did go to Sonic, the 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. And you know where we're going tonight? The Fowler Road Chili's, a WCBN staple. 1-2 the count here on Thais Gonzalez, as it looks like Keiko might have settled in just a little bit. And a weak cut on a 2-strike count sends Thais Gonzalez packing back to the dugout. Really awkward swing there from the Michigan slapper, and that'll be the second out of the inning.
Just an odd swing.
I'll bring Tara Blanco to the plate with 2 outs and none on. She's got plenty of comfort in the circle, but she could add just a little bit more here. First pitch comes up high. Again, just a reminder, not that we're this close yet, but the run rule, 8 runs after 5 innings, the game ends. Michigan at 6 runs to none right now. The 1-0 pitch. That one called strike outside edge, above the belt, 1-1. Aiden Falk, who has had a monster game, is standing in the batter's box on deck. The 1-1 misses outside.
Tara taking her time.
Quite a moment for a true freshman to be thrust into her first game action for Keiko. And on the 2-1, it's a shot down the third base line and fair all the way back to the wall. Gathered in by Crawford and scooting into second base with no trouble standing up is Tara Blanco on a rip shot down the line.
Now that was the hardest contact we've seen all day from a Michigan hitter. Timed that perfectly and just cranked it. Hard pull down the left field line.
Teed that one up as Blanco will now have pinch runners come in for her. Let's see who Hutch sends out as they clarify that with the home plate umpire. And trotting out of the dugout is Haley Hoganrod, the sophomore out of Zeeland, Michigan, not too far from my hometown. And she stands on second now as Aiden Falk comes back to the plate looking to add on to her tally. We're assuming right now that she only has 2 RBIs on the day. The first one with the RBI single back in the first inning, and then back in the last inning for Michigan, back in the bottom of the third, she had the single into right that we think has scored single RBI error and another run scoring on that play. The first pitch is a ball outside, 1-0.
And she's been the best player so far today for Michigan in terms of offensive production, a pair of singles.
Another 1-0 pitch from Keiko. That one just catches the outside part of the plate, well placed and well held by Garcia, 1-1 on the senior Aiden Falk, who has been nothing short of fantastic so far today for Michigan.
Well, in an interview on mgoblue.com that Hutch gave, she mentioned that Falk had a really good preseason.
1-1, big cut and a miss, called strike.
She's been training up, getting ready for the season.
The count's now 1-2 on Aiden Falk. And the pitch up high for ball 2. The count evens at 2-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Haley Hoganrod pinch running for Tara Blanco on second base. Wolverines up 6-zip.
So far we've seen from Falk a screamer right back up the middle and then a pull ball to right field.
The 2-2, swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 4th. Got her with the heat that time, did the young freshman Emily Keiko, and that'll send Falk back to the dugout for the first time today. That'll end the bottom of the fourth. Your score, Michigan 6, UAB nothing, as we head to the top of the fifth inning. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and online on the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
Impressive inning from Kekel to shake off the nerves perhaps from those couple wild pitches and her 3-pitch appearance in the third to then come right back, give up a double, but then strike out who had been Michigan's best hitter all game. Impressive work.
Can also sponsor strikeouts if you want at this point, honestly. Whatever you would like through the WCBN fundraiser 88.3 in Ann Arbor, our one-time-a-year fundraiser for the next week or so, a little bit more than a week.
We've got a
number to call down in Ann Arbor. The phone lines are open, 734-763-3500. Dial in. Let them know Sports sent you. We'll get that relayed to us by the phone people, and we'll get your name here on the broadcast.
Fenway Park tradition. Sweet Caroline being played, but not in the middle of the 8th inning like in Boston. Right now, it's before the 5th.
And the Wolverines are done warming up. They'll step back to the circle with the infield and break rank as we're about ready to start here in the top of the 5th.
Still a good crowd, more folks piling in. We see Georgia State's got some fans. They're getting ready for the next game in this tournament. A few Florida people. Michigan, of course, will play Florida in the big game.
Starting off the inning for UAB, it will be the leadoff hitter, Destiny England, followed up by Petrie and Millsaps. And the first pitch is a ball outside, 1-0.
It was a quick 1-2-3 inning last time for Blanco.
Papers flying everywhere as Drain is chasing his scorecard across the mezzanine up here. The 1-0 pitch to England. That one is chopped foul over towards the on-deck circle on the first base side. Gathered up by Petrie over there and tossed back into play. As the wind really picking up here in the wind tunnel here for a minute.
Mission accomplished. We have everything picked back up, but that was a little rough there for a minute.
The 1-1 slapped shy right field, ranging over and making the catch is Thais Gonzalez for the first out of the inning. Sorry, Drain, continue. It's going to bring up Annalise Petrie, the second baseman for the UAB Blazers. As this game, after a very long bottom of the third, is chugged through the last inning very quickly. As we now stand in the top of the 5th with a 6-0 Michigan lead.
Pitcher settling in a little bit.
First pitch to Petrie, called strike over the heart of the plate, 0-1.
Well, it's the first time these teams have even played games since the fall ball season, and that was a while back. So, shaking off the rust here in this one.
The 0-1. That one a called strike.
Nice pitch.
Indeed. 0-2. Little moving action on that outside to in. Off the outer edge on Petrie, 0-2. The 0-2, that one bounces up in the dirt inside and is collected by Alexander in the chest plate. 1-2 the count now.
Trying to get Petrie to chase down low. Start her off with stuff outside.
The 1-2, swung on and missed, called strike 3. Second out of the inning there as Tara Blanco gets another strikeout.
That is now number 3 for Blanco in this game. She's no Megan Betza in terms
Definitely
of the
not going to
strikeouts.
see the hundreds and hundreds of strikeouts that Megan Betza had, but any strikeout's a good one for Tara Blanco, as that will bring up Madison Millsaps. First pitch called strike outside edge, 0-1.
Now what's made these last 2 innings much better for Blanco is that she's getting ahead of the hitters. Called first strikes, 0-2 counts.
The 0-1, that one is up high over the glove of Alexander and into the back netting, 1-1.
Let's let that get away from her a little bit. A tad high.
2 outs, no runners on for the Blazers in the top of the 5th. They trail by 6. The 1-1. That one just missing the outside edge as the count runs to 2-1. Taking time to check the armband on that left wrist there. As Blanco steps back to the rubber. The 2-1 pitch. That one a called strike. Dipping low right at the last second with a little bit of tailing action, 2-2.
And that's the nice contrast in the speeds that she can utilize. She's normally hitting high 60s, low 70s. That one at 59, throw the hitter off a little bit, mess up the timing.
2-2 pitch. Swung on.
Ooh.
Shot over towards left field. That's going to go down the line and all the way to the wall. Going to be gathered in by the Wolverines. Haley Hoganrod over in left as they dump it in.
Now that's probably the hardest contact we've seen all day for the Blazers.
And it's going to be a double with 2 outs for Madison Millsaps, and that'll keep the inning moving for UAB. And it'll bring up Claire Blount. Even though she's not pitching, she will keep playing. Standing in the cleanup spot, trying to break into this Michigan 6-run lead.
She is 1 for 2 today.
And the first pitch is chopped over towards second, gathered in by Canfield, over to first, 1 pitch, and that'll do it in the top of the 5th inning. That'll silence the Blazers as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Michigan still leading 6-0. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
And that's an underrated play that Canfield made there. Speedy runner coming down the line, just get it really quick, flip it underhand to get the out.
And as always, another reminder to call into the phones down in the Student Activities Building in Ann Arbor, 734-763-3500 for the annual WCBN fundraiser. Keep us on the move with all the teams that you love to hear about. Again, just the same statistic that I dropped earlier in the broadcast, national TV and regional TV are going to account for 4 of Michigan's 54 games this season until we get to playoffs when everybody starts to show up. But throughout the entire season, we'll be there all the way. The only exceptions, Tallahassee next weekend and Boca Raton in a few weeks. We'll have the games down in Austin, Texas over spring break with Lucas Vargas. We'll have the Oxford trip out in Ohio. And then we finally start seeing some Michigan home games come mid-March. But if you want to keep hearing along the way, we can always use your support. So 734-763-3500. Thank you so much to all the listeners tuning in, both in Ann Arbor and around the country, with us on our broadcasting platforms.
Home opener for the Wolverines will be against the Central Michigan Chippewas in late March.
Looking forward to that one already.
So Michigan now is in an interesting situation. They're up 6 entering the bottom of the 5th. They get 2 runs here, the game is over.
Yep.
So you go for the jugular.
I'm sure they would love to end it early. The next game slated to start, I believe, at 12:15, but we are running up close to the minimum window that we have between games. So I believe last year when we were here, it was an approximate 28-minute game window between the last game finishing and the next one starting. So we're probably going to be a bit delayed on that start, but it'll be 28 minutes after the conclusion of this game.
Well, it's 28 minutes. The game's supposed to start at 12:15. Then they have about 15 minutes to get 2 runs here, or else.
Starting off the inning for the Wolverines is Alex Subject as the first pitch to Subject from Emily Kakel is fouled up high into the netting behind home plate. The 0-1 to Subject. That one a shot over towards left field. Ranging over, looking for it is Crawford, and she makes the grab over the shoulder for the first out of the inning. Good collection for UAB. And Kakel is moving a lot faster than Claire Blount was, at least in terms of getting pitches to contact and getting Wolverine outs a lot sooner.
And that's also been true of Blanco here in the last little bit.
So keep an eye on UAB and the young freshman Keiko as we continue throughout the Wilson DeMarini Tournament here. We obviously won't be covering the rest of their games, but a team to keep an eye out for if they've got pitching that's this good. As the first pitch to Amanda Vargas is a called strike inside 0-1.
Well, last season, statistically, their pitching was much better than their hitting.
As Vargas steps back in, she was hitting her last at bat. The 0-1, high up above the eyeballs. Takes for an evening of 1-1. 1-1 count. Pitch misses up high and outside. Tried to go with the heat. She gets up to around 65 on the gun there, but nothing doing. 2-1 the count now on Panda. And the offering. That one fouled back down the first base side. It'll bring things even at 2-2.
Hit right into that netting.
Vargas was right in the middle of that long bottom of the third inning in which the Wolverines batted all the way around the lineup. She was hit, and then the batter standing in the on-deck circle, Madison Uden, was also hit by pitch. Uden scored a run. 2-2. Again, swung foul over towards the warm-up area for pitchers and catchers down the first base side, deep down the right first base side. Count stays 2-all. 1 out here in the inning, no runners on base for Michigan. They lead by 6. The 2-2. Swung on, fouled again. This one may stay in play. Ranging over is Crawford, and it will get out down the third baseline. Crawford gave chase from left field, but could not get there. It's 2-2 again, and a long at bat here for Vargas.
Some good foul-offs there. Fighting, battling, looking for something good to hit.
Something that Morris and I always valued in a lot of these players, fighting to the last pitch. Another 2-2 pitch. That one bounces up in dirt in front of the plate. Count's now full 3-2, and that's exactly why. You work that count to full. Now you got to see something decent. 1 out, no runners on. Kakel steps to the rubber with the payoff pitch. That one's low above the ankles. And the foul-off's work is Amanda Vargas draws another walk, and she will trot down to first base.
It's a well-earned walk there from Vargas.
And that will bring up Maddie Uden. As she takes her time and steps into the box. Kakel delivers the first pitch. Looked like Vargas had a nice jump off first base there trying to time it up, but she scoots back. The pitch missed away, 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch now. That one catches all of the plate, right above the belt, right at the numbers on the jerseys here for Michigan.
Vargas taking a few paces off of first, not really looking intent to steal though at the moment.
The 1-1. That one misses off the outside part of the plate, 2-1.
Garcia held it a long time there behind the plate, trying to get that call desperately, just unable to procure it from our home plate umpire, so 2-1.
The young freshman Emily Kakel. The 2-1 pitch misses again, 3-1.
Same thing, Garcia held it a long time.
She's doing some very try-hard framing behind the plate for UAB. Nothing really coming to fruition. Home plate umpire Sally Keller also not giving her a whole lot of time to have any kind of conversation here.
Well, the good thing for UAB, though, is Molly Garcia is a senior, Kakel only a freshman, so at least you have an experienced hand working with the young arm.
3-1 on Maddie Uden. Vargas on first, 1 out. Swing shot foul down the third base line. It'll get out of play, out of the stadium, over towards the baseball facility behind us here.
The count goes full once again, 3-2. Michigan continuing to battle to full counts.
We'll see how Kakel handles it. She walked Vargas on a full count in the last at-bat. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss up high, an ugly swing from Uden. That's one you want to see her lay off on, but she bit on the high cheese for the second out of the inning.
She whiffed on ball 4 there. Never like to see that.
And that will now bring up Katie Alexander. Alexander's made good contact at the plate so far today for Michigan. Trying to extend the inning with 2 outs. She's got Vargas on first. 6-0 Wolverines in the bottom of the 5th. Kakel's first pitch, up high outside.
Garcia was looking for a potential throwback on Vargas at first, but she got back easily and quickly. Not worth the throw.
She wins that ball in her fingers. The 1-0. Check swing, but it was a strike anyways, called inside, 1-1. Even count here on Katie Alexander, who's done a good job behind the plate as well today, catching for Tara Blanco. Has helped direct a scoreless effort so far. The 1-1, that's fouled up. It could stay in play. Tracking over is Garcia, and she makes the catch at the netting. And that will do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 5th. They get a runner on a walk, but do not score. We head to the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor.
Well, Michigan is unable to get the run rule, but they are still very much in command of this game. Only a little bit more they have to put in order to wrap this thing up.
And another reminder, station fundraiser 88.3 in Ann Arbor, continuing to answer the phone 734-763-3500 if you'd like to donate and support the broadcast you're listening to. Whatever you value Drain and I at, I guess. I mean, are we worth like $3? Are we worth like $5? Who knows? All I know is that when I paid to watch Flow softball last year when they were out in California, I think it cost me $20 and it was probably worth about $2. When Florida State ran away late into the game, didn't allow Michigan to bat in the bottom of an extra innings game because they had to catch a flight. One of those trope games from last season that were just very frustrating for Team 40, but a new horizon for Team 41, already up 6-0 here in the opening game against the UAB Blazers. Tara Blanco is going to trot back out again. Leading off the inning for UAB, trying to figure out where we left off last time. I believe it's going to be Megan Smith, the third baseman.
Yes.
And again, this is where stat broadcast really comes in handy, but nothing doing today. As the Wolverines will have their meeting in the circle, get back to center. And it is indeed Smith. She'll be followed up by Garcia and Crawford here in the top of the 6th inning, with Michigan leading by 6 runs. As Blanco swings that ball into her glove. And now time is called by the home plate umpire, Sally Keller. She'll take a second. Smith doesn't step out of the box. Stays standing in there, and we're back to get underway here. The first pitch. That one's in the dirt. Above the feet of Smith. Gathered in by Alexander, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Was trying to send that one all the way to the Sun Dome. 1-1.
A little out in front of that. As Blanco continues to mix in her off-speed stuff.
The 1-1. That one's low, gathered up off the ground as well by Alexander. 2-1 the count on Smith. Tara Blanco checks the wristband, steps back to the rubber, delivers the 2-1 pitch. That one is up over the feet as well, low and inside on Smith, and the count's now 3-1, falling behind the batter early on.
Not what you want to see, but she's got the stuff to come back and get her out.
The 3-1. That one misses up high as well. It's a 5-pitch walk as Smith heads down to first with a free bag. First runner of the inning on base for UAB.
Bad habits continue to come back to Blanco. Walked the first batter of the game, issued a walk in the second, walk in the third, but then had gone 2 straight innings without issuing a walk.
That'll bring up Molly Garcia, the catcher. First pitch to Garcia misses inside. 6 pitches so far in the inning for Blanco, 5 balls.
Yeah.
As they have Smith standing down on first, and they're down by 6 runs. UAB could really get something going here with a couple things stringed together. The 1-0 pitch is high. Another ball.
Alexander's going to go out there to talk to Blanco, and so will the coaching staff, everybody out to have a little conference, infield pulled in. Carol Hutchins with the conversation.
I'm sure she wants Blanco to finish out this game, but she's just going to talk between Alexander and Blanco here for a minute. Trying to imagine what Hutch would be saying down to Blanco in the circle right now. Drain, what would you say?
Well, you say, you know, first off you ask what's going on. Has anything mechanical changed? But most of all, just settle down. Click back in. Had 2 good innings in a row. Time to lock back in.
Lock back in she will as she steps back to the rubber, meeting over. As Garcia takes a couple practice cuts and will step back to the batter's box. (2-0) count as Blanco delivers, and it's going to be looped over towards Blanco, and she will make the catch just shy of both Falk and Canfield between first and second. She'll do her own work. The pitch and the out recorded, first one of the inning.
Nice job to track that down.
Yep. Still have Smith over at first base. She did not move on the play. Blanco taking her time now here as we're going to have a pinch hit, I believe, for UAB. As there's a conversation with Sally Keller behind home plate. And it looks like coming in to pinch hit will be Caitlin Prater, a senior out of Hueytown, Alabama.
Wearing 00.
And the first pitch to Prater is a strike inside. Last season had no at-bats, so this is her first at-bat in a very long time. Looks like she was a pinch runner majority for UAB, scored 4 times.
Got in 28 games.
Stole a base. The 0-1 pitch, another called strike over the plate, 0-2.
That's what you like to see after a conversation at the mound, come right back, drill a couple strikes right over the plate.
A 6-0 Michigan lead here in the top of the 6th inning with the pinch hitter Prater as she chops a foul down the third base side on a check swing, and count stays 0-2. Gone on contact with Smith over at first. Another 0-2 pitch delivered from Blanco. That one misses outside for a ball. It comes 1-2. Smith down over at first base still. A 1-2 pitch from Blanco. Another chop. This one goes right over to Subject, who is playing in very, very close to the bag. And she makes the grab on the fly for the second out of the inning. 2 down, runner on first for the Blazers. 6-0 lead for Michigan. Got to clarify. And that will bring up Rachel Rogers, the first baseman. First pitch catches the inside part of the plate. That's a well-thrown ball from Blanco, 0-1.
Since that visit from Hutchins, a lot better. Crisp pitches right over the plate, locating well.
The 0-1. That one goes very similar spot back inside again, but just misses a bit more to the inside part. 1-1 the count. Blanco steps back again, a 1-1 pitch. Big cut and a big miss as it bounces up in the dirt, gathered by Alexander. It's 1-2. Don't think that she got any piece of that, just bounced up in the dirt as well. Threatening to run there was Smith, which is why I don't think that it was any foul tippage.
Once again, just taking a little bit off of it, mixing up the speed.
The 1-2, that one's chopped foul over the third base side.
Yeah, 60 miles an hour, right out in front of it, fooling UAB.
1-2 we stay. Michigan trying to get out of the top of the 6th inning here. Some chatter around the ballpark as Blanco settles again with a 1-2 pitch. That one is again fouled back towards the parking lot into a palm tree.
Flipped it right over the top roof.
Right out of the game. No souvenirs in college softball.
Nope.
But the count is 1-2. Blanco readies again. A big cut and a big miss. Strike 3 up high, got her to bite on some rising action. And that will send Rachel Rogers back to the dugout. It'll send UAB back to the dugout. And they will regroup and come back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. Michigan leads this one 6-0. You're listening to Michigan softball coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and online on the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network.
4 strikeouts now for Blanco. Had some bumps in the road so far, but she's worked out of trouble when there has been some.
And again, a reminder to call into the WCBN station fundraiser at 88.3, 734-763-3500, the number to dial. The phones are waiting for you. If you'd like to donate to sports, I know we've got a lot of viewers today. Thank you to all of you tuning in around the country and in Ann Arbor locally as well. Continue to support our coverage of Michigan softball and all the other Michigan spring sports with any donation. Like we said, whatever you think Drain and I are worth. If we've given you $5 worth of content, $5 never hurt anybody. But dial on in, let us know. Interact with us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Let us know you made a donation, and we will be sure to mention you on the broadcast. If you'd like a specific thing sponsored, if you want the first home run of the weekend, if you'd like the first run of the weekend, or of the next game, whatever you'd like. Michigan's already put up 6 runs on the weekend. Fantastic stuff so far. 734-763-3500. Or just say hi on Twitter. You know, that's cool too. I like that. Also on the YouTube live feed, we've got those comments coming in as well. Thanks for your interaction with us on there today so far.
Georgia State has now finished up all of their warm-ups, just seated along the fencing out in left field watching.
Again, we will be here for all of the games this weekend with the exception of Sunday morning. We've got a flight out that's just going to run up a little bit too close. We're going to Florida State it, and we're going to skip the Illinois State game on Sunday morning. But we'll be there in spirit. But we've got Georgia State coming up right after this one, and then tomorrow, the Biggie Day, Florida in the morning, South Florida in the evening.
That will be the tough test for Michigan. See what they're made of. Today, just really getting familiar with the new roster, the new faces, how things are going to break down.
Emily Kakel stepping to the circle. Natalie Peters going to lead off the inning for Michigan. 2 runs will end the game for the Wolverines, as Peters runs up to slap and takes the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch to Peters. Swung on, slapped over towards left. Can it get over the head of Crawford?
Oh.
It cannot. A nice over-the-shoulder grab over in left field. I think they actually made a defensive shift. It's now Prater who just pinch hit over in left field instead of Crawford now.
That was a fine defensive play. Looked like it was going to get over her head, but she tracked it well, was able to see where it was coming.
It was
the mid up there.
Well hit by Natalie Peters, but a nice play over in left by the defensive substitute, Prater. Michigan goes back to work now. Faith Canfield atop the order. The first pitch. That one's a ball outside. Taking her time is Kakel. One-0. Swung on, over towards left field, and a dinger! Over the fence and gone for Faith Canfield. First home run of the season for Team 41 as Michigan adds another one onto the lead. It's 7-0. Faith Canfield, and she can hit.
Lined it up
over the left fence.
perfectly. Just Solid contact out into the gap between left and center, right over the fence and off that a batting cage or a pitching cage in there.
A big bomb for Faith Canfield, and just a little bit of notice for Georgia State standing over in left field of what's waiting for him as soon as this one wraps up. And that'll bring Thais Gonzalez up now with Michigan leading this one 7-0. One more run will end it. One out in the inning in the bottom of the 6th. The first pitch to Gonzalez skips up in the dirt. Ball one, way off the plate.
Well, really now the reason the game is still going is that fine defensive play in left field. That would have put a runner on and the home run would have ended it.
The 1-0 pitch. Gonzalez slaps it over towards left. If it stays fair, it's good, and it just goes foul. Could have been a Texas leaguer there, but just a bit too far to the push side. Thais Gonzalez has had a good day as well. Really taking her role in this lineup as a hitter very seriously. Has shown some good speed on the base paths, some good patience at the plate, and she takes the 1-1. High for ball 2. Two and 1 the count. And the pitch. A bunt right back towards the mound. Not a very good bunt there from Thais Gonzalez as it's easily handled by Kekel. And she throws back to first for the easy out, 2 down.
Kind of felt like a mix between a dragger down the line and one that's trying to get past the mound, past the pitcher, and instead it just went right back.
And it's going to be another pinch hit situation for the Wolverines. This time we're going to see Taylor Swearingen come into the game for Tara Blanco. Swearingen has the potential to be a big bat for Michigan. 28 at-bats last season. Didn't do all that great at the plate, just 179, but she knocked in 8 RBIs.
Always a good pinch hitting option off the bench, moments like these.
The first pitch to Swearingen. That one misses high and outside. We will have to go off air at noon. We've got about 4 minutes left on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, so hopefully Michigan can score one more run here and close out the game. But for those of you that will be tuning out on 88.3 at noon, be sure to tune in online on YouTube, WCBNsports.org. The 1-0 pitch is fouled back into the netting. And again, one last reminder from us here to tune in to our broadcast and also support the station fundraiser at 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor this week. Call into the phone 734-763-3500 if you enjoyed the broadcast on air today. If you're in your car radio out at lunch, let us know. Interact on Twitter at WCBN Sports. The 1-1 again fouled back into the netting, 1-2 on Swearingen.
Pretty decent looks there for Swearingen, just not getting out in front of it.
Also take a moment to give a big thank you to Jack Molino, Johnny Boy in the studio for us back in chilly Ann Arbor, making sure our sound can come to you through the station. So thank you to Jack. Another strong freshman here at WCBN. 1-2. That one very close to a called strike 3. A hard take there from Swearingen as she watches it go by and luckily gets the call from the home plate umpire Sally Keller. It goes 2-2. Again, Michigan can score one more run here in the bottom inning and end it, or they'll need 3 outs in the top of the 7th inning to end the game. The 2-2. Swung back into the netting again.
Keeps getting a piece. Not a lot, just enough.
Need a home run from Swearingen to end it on 88.3. Could be a good way to sign out. Swearingen with that long, wavy blonde hair out of the back of the helmet. Might have actually gotten a cut since last season. I remember it being longer. 2-2. Hard shot over towards third. It's gathered in over there by Smith, and the throw over to first is in time. That'll do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 6th inning. They get a home run off the bat of Faith Canfield, and that'll do it for our broadcast on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. If you'd like to transition over, be sure to transition over with us onto YouTube and on WCBNsports.org. Michigan's leading this one as we head to the top of the 7th. They need 3 more outs to end the game. They lead 7-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball on 88.3, WCBN FM Ann Arbor, and the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network. And one more time, reminder to donate to the station fundraiser, 734-763-3500. Down in the basement of the Student Activities Building, the phones are waiting. For Alex Strain, I've been Jeremy Parks on 88.3. We continue here online on youtube.com/WCBN Sports. As always, for those of you on 88.3, we leave you with a good night and a go blue. And we continue here as Michigan warms up, and we are going to see a pitching change to close out the game here for Michigan. And we're going to see the first action of the year for the vaunted freshman, Megan Bobie. Pretty exciting stuff. We talked to Megan at Media Day last week. A lot of confidence for a young freshman out of Newport, Michigan, pretty local to Ann Arbor area. A monster in high school, is now going to be vaulted into kind of a 2-tandem rotation here with Tara Blanco, trying to replace the production of Megan Betza. Not too shabby here for Michigan in the opening game. And leading off the inning for UAB will be Natalie Irwin.
Be the bottom of the order, flipping back over to the top.
Little Bulls on parade, a little rage against the machine here between the innings.
We've heard just about everything in this game.
Good stadium soundtrack, always an underrated fan experience component. The first pitch to Irwin is going to come up and catch her right in the letters. And she's going to wince as she trots over down the first base foul side. A hard pitch from Bobie, and the first pitch of her Michigan career comes up and hits Natalie Irwin right in the chest. And they're going to check on her as she is still gripping.
I think they're going to see if that ball hit the bat before it hit her.
They very well may. They are just going to send her over to first. I didn't pay that close attention to the bat. It came in very hard and fast inside. So that'll put a runner on to start the top of the 7th inning here. If UAB is able to get something brewing, they could start to think a little bit about getting back into this game, but they're just 3 outs away from it being all over. Megan Bobie trying to close it out. She's got the sunglasses on down there, along with the cage mask. And that'll be the first pitch to Destiny England outside for ball 1. Again, very similar to UAB, throwing Emily Kakel in here. Michigan throwing Megan Bobie into her first action. Not a bad move by Hutch. Again, it's a comfortable position with a 7-run lead.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of environment you want to drop Bobie into.
1-0, high and outside. See if we see her again in the next game against Georgia State as well.
Have to think that we will.
A lot of arm work for Tara Blanco so far today. And the 2-0 pitch. That one swung on over towards first, gathered in by Falk. She thought about going 2, but really quickly goes back to first for 1. Not in time to Canfield. That's a very close call. First base umpire over there is Peter Blair, and he was right on top of it. I don't know, it looked pretty close to me. But of course, tie goes to the runner if that's what he's thinking.
Not sure I agree with that call.
A little bit of indecision maybe from Falk, thinking about whether or not she wanted to go to second and try and turn 2.
Yeah, that's a play that just needs to come to first.
So a couple of outs being eluded there. And it's still none out. Runners on first and second for the Blazers. As that'll bring Annalise Petrie to the plate now. As Michigan's back underway after a little conversation with Bobie. First pitch misses high and outside for ball 1. Bobie trying to get her control under here.
That pitch at 73 miles an hour. A little bit faster than anything Blanco was throwing consistently.
The 1-0. Hard cut and missed. Out in front of that pitch by a long distance was Petrie.
Now she took quite a bit off of that, dialed up a different pitch, 57 miles an hour, just changing and getting the ugly looking swing.
Count 1-1. And a strike.
There you go, 71.
The plate, or no, a ball. Late call back. Never mind. Backtrack that ball. 2-1. And yeah, a heck of a lot of speed from Megan Beaubien here. Up above the 70 range on just about every pitch so far.
Just needs to reel in the control, focus on getting it over the plate.
The 2-1. Another check swing, she went.
So right now she's just alternating between the heater and the off-speed pitch. And the off-speed is really getting good bites.
It's 2-2 the count. And we talked to Megan Beaubien last week. She told me her favorite pitch to use is her changeup, so we'll see if she comes with that here on the 2-2 count. She does, but it bounces a bit in front of the plate. And it'll run the count full, 3-2.
Got to be careful here. You do not want to load the bases with nobody out.
Payoff pitch from Beaubien. That one is jammed inside the knuckles, over towards first, diving and can't make the play as Falk, and everybody's going to be safe.
Well,
a couple of rough plays for Aiden Falk over at first. She dove for it and couldn't grab it, tried to snow cone it on the glove, and by the time she got to her feet, everybody was there. So not really on Megan Beaubien there. She got her jammed inside, just couldn't get the play. And that's going to bring a visit with the entire infield and Coach Carol Hutchins out to the circle. Trying to get Beaubien some confidence, but maybe the best way to learn is through adversity.
Yeah, being failed by her defense right now. I mean, the first hit by pitch, obviously, that's on her, but these last two have been really weak hit balls to the right side of the infield. Those need to be collected for outs, and instead, they both drop in for a pair of infield singles.
As the conversation continues. Meanwhile, UAB will have the bases juiced. 3 ducks on the pond with none out here in the top of the 7th inning, trying to avoid a goose egg on the scoreboard here against Michigan. A funny comment on the YouTube live feed from Holly Denson. I love this. Picking up where Megan Betzel left off, hitting your first batter to let him know you're in the circle. That's a power move right there. Big tings from Megan Beaubien. As we're back to play now with Madison Millsaps at the plate. First pitch called strike outside. Great pitch from Beaubien.
This, and that was 74, by the way.
Woo.
And this is where you look for the strikeout. You get that first out, and then you can look for a ground ball to get a double play.
The 0-1, big cut and a miss.
Just throwing it by her.
She's just throwing smoke right now. 0-2 the count on Millsaps. I want to see her go right back to that fastball, blow it right by. The 0-2. She does. Boy, oh boy, 72 on the gun. Swing and a miss from Millsaps, and down she goes. Well, all it took was Carol Hutchins giving her about a 3-minute conversation, and Megan Beaubien's alive.
Well, we said she needed the strikeout there, and she gets it. 3 pitches, just blows her right out of the batter's box.
That'll bring up Claire Blount. First pitch to Blount, outside off the plate. That went up to 73.
So
I feel like watching Joel Zumaya, looking to see if he can go 101, 102.
So here, if you can get that changeup to produce a ground ball, look for a double play or the throw comes home. But you'd also take a strikeout.
The 1-0, swing and a miss. 71 again. This could be the start of something very beautiful.
Just rocketing in pitches.
The 1-1. Another swing and a miss. Took a heck of a lot off that one. Goes heat for about 6 pitches in a row and then drops it down to 57.
Now let's see, here is why she was the number 6 recruit in the country, the number 3 pitcher recruit in the country, is that she can just blow it by you. So you speed your swing up and adjust your timing, and then she goes back with that changeup.
Tried to place the fastball on the 1-2 count. It just missed low off the outside part of the plate. 2-2 the count. On the pitcher, Claire Blount, who is probably wishing she had this speed that Megan Beaubien's bringing. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts swinging for Megan Beaubien. 2 outs now in the inning, and she may get out of a bases-loaded, none-out jam.
Kind of reminds me, do you remember in the playoffs about 4 years ago when Max Scherzer had the bases loaded, nobody out against the Oakland A's, and he came in and he got those first 2 strikeouts.
First pitch of the next at-bat to Megan Smith. Again, an off-speed pitch dropping down to 57 on the breaker, and she swings right through it 0-1.
Now you take it any way you can get it. That third out, any way it comes.
These combinations are just fantastic so far from Beaubien. The 0-1. That one goes up high. Tried to get her to fish. Good job by Smith to lay off 1-1.
Trying to preserve the shutout. As they call it in tennis, bageling them.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-1 pitch. That one just missed off the outside edge of the plate, held there by Katie Alexander.
She dropped in that changeup at 52.
She likes that pitch. It was well placed, just not quite there, maybe a hair off. It's a 2-1 count on Smith. The pitch, Knuckles over towards second, gathered in by Canfield, over to first to Falk, and that'll do it for game number 1. Michigan takes this one home in game number 1 by a final score of 7-0 over the UAB Blazers. And probably the most exciting part of the finish was seeing Megan Beaubien do that at the very end.
Wiggles out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. And now the handshake line starts up, a 7-0 win for the Wolverines.
Some quick high fives. So really great stuff for Michigan here in the first game, and they're going to have Georgia State as soon as they get the field cleaned up and everybody gets ready to go again. Michigan going back-to-back. So for those of you that are tuning in online with us on YouTube, thank you again so much for tuning in. We're going to close out this video. We're going to post another video to a new game here in just a moment. So keep an eye out on the Twitter at WCBN Sports, or just stay on the YouTube page. You'll be able to find it through our YouTube channel, and we'll be live again in just about 28 minutes here from the USF softball facility in Tampa, Florida. Drain, your final thoughts on this one before we close it out.
I'm probably most impressed by Aiden Falk and Alex Subject. They both had good games offensively, and obviously Subject some fine defensive plays. But boy, Beaubien, when she really starts to learn how to use the incredible talent she has, it's going to be great news for Michigan softball.
All right, that'll do it for Alex Drain. I'm Jeremy Parks. We'll be back in 28 minutes with Michigan and Georgia State. Again, your final score from game number 1 on the afternoon, Wolverines 7, Blazers nothing. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball on the Michigan Student Softball Radio Network. Back in a few. Go Blue.